The U.S. Navy's amphibious fleet is in the process of getting the final ship of the first flight of San Antonio-class landing platform docks, and the new versions are in the first stages of planning and construction. At the Sea Air Space Exposition this month, I caught up with shipbuilder Huntington Ingalls to get an update. Steve, thanks for joining me to talk about your program and everything that's going on. So first of all, walk me through what's going on with the LPD program right now.
Well, it's an exciting time to be an LPD shipbuilder here in America. Right now, Huntington Ingalls has 3 ships under contract. LPD 28 is about 50% complete. She's nearly erected and looks like a ship, and that's exciting. We'll launch her next year and then fit her out and deliver her the following year. LPD 29, we just had the keel authentication ceremony here in April, and several of the building blocks are starting to come together on 29. And then, of course, most excitedly for us is we have the contract for LPD 30, the first flight 2, that meets all the requirements for LXR, the new requirements that the Navy and the Marine Corps have for that ship. And we're buying material for that ship, and we're doing the design, updating our model for that ship to be ready to go into serial production of ideally, I think, 13 LPD Flight 2s total.
Pretty impressive. And you've got a long way to go on a backlog there for your business.
We do, and a lot of excited, patriotic shipbuilders ready to build those ships.
So looking at these, to some it may look you have 3 ships, but these 3 ships are pretty different from one another. What are some of the differences between, say, 28 and 29?
Right, between LPD 28 and 29, actually very insignificant changes, but one is significant, I guess. 2, the Navy's figured out a couple things for better fuel economy and emissions, so we've upgraded the engines to what has called common rail fuel. You want to think of it like fuel injection in a car, and that lowers the diesel emissions for one thing, and it improves the fuel economy. And they made a minor angle adjustment to the stern flap underneath the stern gate, again for fuel efficiency. So other than that, 29 is really quite a bit like 28. There's a couple other very small cost savings initiatives in the ship. We're going to some preformed rubber hoses instead of piping in a couple areas, for example, that it's resilient and reliable, meets shock requirements, but it's a little less expensive than weld and pipe. So other than that, it's pretty much identical to 28.
And then on to 30, what are some of the differences there? Because obviously while they may be very similar, there are some key differences there.
There are. One of the big ones is the new radar, and in fact, actually, I should have mentioned that LPD 29 is going to be the first LPD to get the ESR radar.
Excellent.
So it's built by Raytheon, and it's going to be common to a lot of ships in the fleet, and an improvement over the SPS 48. So 29 will be the first LPD to get that. Additionally, starting with 30, we're fully ready for the CH-53 Kilo, the new heavy lift helicopter that the Marines are getting, and the latest ship-to-shore connectors. So it's a formidable ship, and it's got a great legacy, commonality of equipment and training and schoolhouse. I think the Navy made a brilliant decision by continuing the LPD hull form and just making minor tweaks to it to meet the missions of the future.